You haven't even fully opened your eyes yet, and the world is already demanding an answer from you. Messages, news, other people's opinions, the glances of passers-by, an irritating remark casually made by a loved one, an unexpected problem that befalls you at the crack of dawn. All of these are invisible threads tugging at your mood since the morning. The day has only just begun, but tension is already building inside. Your energy is spent not on creation, but on defense. And so you react again. You argue in response, you become indignant, you take offense. And then you genuinely wonder why peace never returns within. Before you learn how to break this vicious cycle once and for all, subscribe. What follows is about true inner self-control. We live in an age of constant overload. Everyone wants to be heard, everyone demands attention. But few consider that by reacting indiscriminately, we lose the most important thing: control over our own lives. We are tossed about like a boat without oars, amidst the waves of other people's emotions and opinions. We become predictable, vulnerable, dependent. But there is another way. We can reclaim this power, learn not to react. Not because we don't care, but because we choose how to spend our soul. The philosophy of Stoicism, proven over centuries, teaches precisely this inner silence. The Stoics knew to be calm means to be truly strong, not in the sense of suppressing feelings, but in the sense of guiding them. Not to be a stone, to be a rock. With their steadfastness, they inspired emperors, generals, and sages. And today, their teachings are becoming a true salvation for those tired of chaos. But where do we begin? How do we learn not to lose ourselves in the storm of daily irritants? The answer is simple, and Epictetus already knew it. It all begins with a clear distinction between what we control and what we don't. It is from this fundamental division that the path to true peace begins. When you stop fighting what is beyond your control and direct all your attention inward, where decisions truly depend on you, the first turning point occurs. A turning point toward freedom. Stoicism begins with a simple yet truly radical understanding. You have no power over the world. You only have power over yourself. This knowledge doesn't immediately bring relief. It can even be irritating because modern man is accustomed to the illusion of total control. We are told that absolutely everything depends on us. Success, love, health, even the mood of others. But the Stoic says differently. Not everything is under your control, and that is precisely where liberation lies. You don't control what a stranger writes on the internet. You don't control the mood of your loved ones. You can't stop the rain, and you are incapable of changing the past. But you have something much more, a choice about how to relate to all of this. Epictetus said, "The main task of a person is to learn to distinguish between what is within their control and what is not. Until you make this distinction, you will live in constant tension, because your psyche will stubbornly try to control what is fundamentally uncontrollable. It's like squeezing a handful of sand in your fist. The tighter you hold, the less is left. But as soon as you unclench your fingers, surprisingly, real strength appears. The strength to choose your reaction. The strength to observe. The strength to not get caught up. Reaction is a habit, and choice is a skill. And this skill can be learned. The first step is awareness. The realization that the event itself doesn't cause pain. It's our interpretation of it that causes pain. The same glance from a random passerby can be perceived as a threat or as an accident. It all depends on who you are inside. And here lies the central turning point of all philosophy. External things have no power over you until you voluntarily give them that power. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Remove the notion of suffering, and the suffering itself will disappear." This isn't magic. It's pure psychology of power. When you accept that you don't have to react, that you can simply observe from the outside, you gain true freedom. You become the master of your inner space, and silence reigns within. In this silence, the next question arises. If the world is beyond my control, but I can control myself, how can I strengthen this inner core? How can I develop such strength that no storm can ever knock me off course? The answer lies in the practice of reason. And that is the next step. When you stop reacting to every external stimulus, you have the opportunity to rebuild your inner world. The Stoics called this the cultivation of the soul, daily work on the mind, like a garden where you constantly weed out the weeds of chaos and carefully cultivate the seeds of wisdom. After all, calm doesn't come naturally. It is not an innate gift, but the fruit of persistent inner discipline. Reaction is quick and primitive. It is born from pure impulse. But reflection is maturity, depth, will. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much could be avoided if a person knew how to slow down and reflect?" In the modern world, few allow themselves to stop. Everyone lives in a rush, as if every moment demands an immediate response. But the Stoic pauses, observes, reflects, and it is in this pause that one becomes truly free, because when you reflect, you no longer react, you choose. And when you choose, you control yourself. Inner strength is the result of daily, regular reflection. Morning for setting the mood. Evening for honest analysis. Day for mindfulness. This is how the Stoics lived. They didn't just write philosophical treatises. They kept diaries. Seneca, every evening before bed, analyzed his day. Where anger flared up, where selfishness showed through, where time was wasted on empty vanity. He didn't judge himself, he learned. He turned each day into a building block of his inner strength. Today, you can do the same. Get into the habit of asking yourself simple questions. Why am I irritated now? Is this really important? Can I let this go? These simple questions reveal the very essence of what's happening. Often, we get angry not because something is truly important, but because we've forgotten who we are. Forget yourself, and your reaction will begin to control you. Remember yourself, and you're back in control of your life. Reflection is an anchor in the chaos of the world, a way to hear yourself through the external noise. It's like returning home after a long, exhausting journey. And the more often you return to yourself, the less you want to react to things that don't really matter. A sense of calm strength emerges, like that of a sage who sits at the edge of a stormy ocean but doesn't throw himself into its waves. And here comes the next step. To truly harness the power of reflection, you need to learn to pause between stimulus and reaction, because it is in this pause that you decide who you will be, a victim or a master of the moment. Between what happens to you and how you react to it, there is always a small space. This is where your freedom lives. But most people never look there. They act automatically, as if someone pressed an invisible button and the program started automatically. Someone raised their voice, you get offended. Someone didn't respond to a message, you're already angry. Someone didn't approve of your opinion, and anxiety or aggression arises inside. This is living in a chain of automatic reactions, where you are not the subject of your own life, but a puppet of circumstances. Stoicism breaks this chain. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and concentration camp prisoner, once said, "Between stimulus and reaction there is a space. In this space lies our power to choose a response. And in our response lies our freedom and our growth." These words almost echo the Stoics, as Seneca wrote even earlier, "You don't have to respond to irritation immediately. If you can wait, you've already won." This isn't a call to weakness, it's a call to inner control. To incorporate this pause into your daily life, start small. Before you speak, take a breath. Before responding to rudeness, look at the person and ask yourself, is this person even worth my energy? Before you get into an argument, ask yourself, what will my reaction really lead to? This short pause, this moment of mindfulness, can completely change the outcome of any situation. You don't suppress your feelings, you refine them. You learn to direct your energy where it brings real benefit, not into emotional holes. You don't have to explain, justify, defend yourself, or fight every time someone invades your personal space. The longer you can hold this pause, the stronger you become. Pause isn't silence. It's an active effort of inner strength, a choice to remain on your own level, rather than sink to the level of someone else's provocation. A calm that's more stunning than a scream. This is where true wisdom is born. You cease to be a reaction. You become an intention. If you recognize yourself in these words, subscribe now. What follows is a discussion of how to protect your attention from the endless stream of other people's noise, and it's worth hearing in its entirety. Once you've learned to stand between the stimulus and the initial emotional outburst, The next step is filtering, the ability to not let everything in. Because even what you don't react to outwardly can still creep in unnoticed. Therefore, the next step is guarding your own attention. You don't have to react to everything you see, hear, or feel. Attention is your personal currency, and what you spend it on directly shapes your inner state. The Stoics knew, not everything is worthy of a response. Not everything requires a reaction. Not everything deserves even a fleeting thought. Seneca wrote, "We would consider many things unimportant if we didn't attach any importance to them." And indeed, everything that enters your field of attention grows within you. And if you don't filter this flow, you become overloaded, irritated, and distracted. Imagine a sage walking down a noisy street, shouting, arguing, gossip, mutual grievances. But he doesn't turn around, he simply goes his own way. He hears, but doesn't listen. He sees, but doesn't penetrate. He knows attention is an anchor, and if you throw it into every random emotion, you can drown in other people's storms. This means you need to learn selectivity, learn to be deaf to the empty, to see the noise, but not to enter it. This is the true discipline of perception. Today, your attention is bombarded by thousands of stimuli simultaneously. Social media, screaming headlines, other people's dramas, aggression in the comments. Your psyche, like a wide-open door, lets absolutely everything in. But the Stoic closes this door. He asks himself, does this deserve my presence? And this is not a question of arrogance. It is a question of the survival of the soul. Because a person who reacts to everything indiscriminately gets tired, burns out, loses himself. But he who knows how to select retains his strength. Training your attention isn't just about eliminating the unnecessary, but also about deliberately strengthening what's essential. Replace the endless stream of news with the meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Instead of complaining, listen to the silence. Instead of getting involved in other people's arguments, observe yourself. Choose what nourishes your soul, not what wounds it. After all, as Epictetus said, you ultimately become what you allow in. By honing your attention, you become like a guard at the gates of consciousness. You choose who to let in, who to let pass, what to allow to grow, and what to wither without attention. And then there will no longer be chaos within you. There will be clarity, there will be focus, and there will be true peace. But even with strong selectivity, there always remains the temptation to get drawn back in, to react again, to let emotions take over again. To prevent this, one more step is needed: voluntarily limiting perception, rejecting the excess. This is precisely what the next principle is dedicated to. To maintain inner peace, it is not enough to simply filter incoming events. You must consciously reduce the very density of stimuli. The Stoics practiced voluntary asceticism not for the sake of suffering, but for the sake of purifying the mind. They understood that an excess of impressions, emotions, and information weakens the spirit, making a person anxious, impulsive, and dependent. Therefore, they taught, what you allow yourself to see and hear shapes your thinking, and thinking shapes your entire life. Asceticism of perception is not a rejection of the world, but a conscious choice in favor of depth. This means not listening to unnecessary things, not watching everything in sight, not absorbing other people's information noise. It's like stopping eating food that slowly poisons you. After all, every day you feed your mind with news, conversations, videos, and comments. And if this food is saturated with anxiety, anger, and gossip, don't be surprised that there's been no peace inside for a long time. It's impossible to be calm if you fill yourself with anxious content day after day. Asceticism begins with something simple: one day without news, one day without unbalancing discussions, one day without endlessly scrolling through other people's lives on your feed. And you'll immediately feel something inside has cleared up, space has been freed up, attention has returned to yourself. You've become the center of your own life again. The Stoics called this a purification of perception, like washing the dust off a window so you can finally see clearly. Seneca wrote, "The less you need, the harder it is to shake you." And this applies not only to things but also to impressions. The less you depend on the constant flow of information, the more resilient you become. You no longer run for new stimuli because true depth has appeared within you. You don't look for something to fill the emptiness because you've learned to be in silence. In a world where everyone greedily absorbs everything, the Stoic refuses, not because he's indifferent, but because he's free. He knows his attention is precious, and he doesn't waste it on just anything. He's like a monk in the midst of the chaos, at the very center of the storm, but with a completely still heart. Once you've learned to limit the unnecessary, maintain your attention, and pause before reacting, the question naturally arises. Where is true power? Is it really only in abstinence? No, it's in the ability to direct all your freed energy to where you can truly make a difference, and that's only yourself. And that's the next step. Many people spend their entire lives trying to change others, to convince them, to correct them, to make them understand. We think that peace will come when someone else changes, becomes kinder, more attentive, more respectful. But the Stoics knew, this is the path to eternal disappointment, because someone else's will is never in your hands. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change. You can't make the world fair if it never was. You can't build your own peace on someone else's behavior. But you can always change yourself. Seneca wrote, "Whoever wants to change everything around him ultimately changes nothing. Whoever changes himself changes everything." This is where the true source of power lies. It all begins not with external victory, but with internal control. While you try to control others, you imperceptibly lose control of yourself. You become a reaction to everything external, and therefore vulnerable, dependent, weak. But turn your attention inward and honestly say to yourself, I control only myself, and you become the true master of your own destiny. Self-management is more than just controlling your emotions. It is the art of remaining yourself in any circumstances. The ability to maintain dignity when openly provoked. The ability to not stoop to other people's standards, not to participate in destructive games, not to prove your case in a pointless argument. This is maturity that does not require other people's approval. Firmness that needs no justification. And above all, it is a calm that no longer depends on the outside world. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled a vast empire, wrote in his Meditations, "Let the outside world do its work. My job is to be the person I want to be." He understood that even an emperor isn't omnipotent, but being at peace with oneself is the highest power of all. And that's true peace. Knowing that your desire to control others is born out of fear, out of a craving for predictability. But the Stoic chooses courage. He tells himself, I won't try to control what's beyond my control. I'll focus on what I truly have power over, myself. And that's when order appears in his life, because order is already within him. When you master yourself, you can no longer be exploited, shaken, or pushed off course. You become a rock against which the waves crash, yet which remains motionless. A strength is born within you, calm, silent, unattainable. And this strength becomes noticeable. People begin to feel it and, without even realizing it, respect it, because true authority always begins from within. And when you truly understand your power over yourself, when you stop trying to control others, when you learn to renounce the unnecessary, comes the final understanding. Calm is not the absence of emotion, it is the highest form of strength. And this is the last, most important point. In society, calm is often confused with passivity, silence with compliance, and non-involvement with indifference. But the Stoics taught the opposite. True calm is not weakness, but the pinnacle of inner discipline. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you have such self-control that you can choose where to express yourself and where to maintain silence, because you are no longer a slave to your own impulses. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can be invincible if you simply don't enter into a battle you don't have to fight." Calm is a conscious choice not to be drawn into every other person's drama, not to react to every provocation, not to lose yourself in the storm of other people's emotions. It's strength demonstrated not by shouting, but by silence, not by aggression, but by confidence, not by outbursts, but by resilience. Take a closer look at people who are truly strong-willed. They don't need to prove their point. They don't shout back, and they don't get lost in the noise. Their strength lies in clarity, in composure, in the ability to remain true to themselves, even when everything around them tries to push them off course. It's this kind of calm that attracts, inspires respect, trust, and even genuine admiration, because it seems to say without words, "You are safe with me. I will not lose myself because of you." This kind of calm doesn't come overnight. It's formed through the habit of observing, reflecting, consciously choosing your reactions, limiting excess, managing your attention, and strengthening yourself from within, day after day. This is real work. But this work doesn't just give you stability, it gives you freedom. The freedom to be at the center of your own life. Not under the pressure of circumstances, but by your own choice. The world will always be full of irritants. There will always be someone who will anger you, a situation that will upset you, words that will touch a nerve. But you can be different. You can become the person who makes you feel calmer. A person who has depth, whose eyes see not a storm, but an ocean. And if you've reached this understanding, if you've felt that true calm isn't a rejection of life, but a complete presence in it with strength and clarity, then you're already on this path. Because calm isn't a goal. It's a side effect of true inner maturity. But to maintain and deepen this state, you need regular practice and constant self-reminders. And that's precisely why it's worth returning to Stoic reflection again and again, lest we forget. You don't have to react. You have every right to be calm. And that is your greatest strength. In a world where everyone is pulling at you by invisible strings, where everything around you screams, react, urgently, strongly, a person who can remain calm becomes a true rarity. He is like an island of silence in the midst of a storm. And this is precisely his true strength. Calm is not about indifference, not about detachment, and certainly not about giving up on life. It is about depth, about maturity, about the choice to be at the center of your own world, and not in the chaos of others. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can always choose how to relate to it. You can pause. You can consciously turn away from the noise. You can focus your attention on what really matters. You can be the master of your reaction, and then you are no longer a reaction. You are a force. The Stoics left us not just a philosophy, but practical tools for everyday life, filled with challenges. They taught us that greatness lies not in suppressing emotions, but in understanding them and not allowing them to rule us. And if you take even one step in this direction today, choosing silence over shouting, pause over outburst, observation over immediate intervention, you have already changed yourself. And therefore, you have changed your reality. If these ideas resonated with you, if you want to further strengthen your inner resilience and calm, subscribe to the channel. Here you'll find even more reflections, wise ideas and practices that will help you become stronger, clearer, and quieter within. Leave a comment. What do you most often react to unnecessarily? Which principles of Stoicism already help you maintain calm? Your thoughts and your experience are truly valuable. They inspire me to continue creating videos like this. Thank you for your attention. And remember, your silence is not emptiness. It is a depth that cannot be shaken.